Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to do a comparison video. We're going to compare the Sugess 418-2 and the Pagani Designn PD1644. These are both Daytona homages, and I'm doing a comparison video because I'm out of watches to review because there's been a real slowdown from stuff coming from China lately. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Casio W800HM with a 10-year battery. I've had this watch about 5 years, so the battery should be about half done. And Grogu's wearing my Thorn SHY021 with the Mario buckle because I still haven't got the buckle yet. Grogu said that Princess Leia's lawyer asked 3PO to testify on her behalf at her trial for killing Jabba the Hutt. 3PO said, "But sir, I am not permitted to lie, and I did indeed see the princess kill Jabba the Hutt." Her lawyer said, "Yeah, but I'm hoping that you'll bore the jury to death so we have a mistrial." All right, let's take a look at the watches. We have the Sugess S418-2 on the left here. And then we have the Pagani Designn PD1644 on the right here. And as you can see, they're both homages to a Rolex Daytona. And the one on the left is the Le Mans 100 anniversary colorway, and the one on the right is a meteorite dial colorway. Then this one cost $370, and actually now they're going for $400. I must have got it on a good day. And this one costs about $50. So there is quite a bit of price difference. So let's look at the packaging. The C-Stern, or the Sugess, comes in a pretty nice box here. Looks like a book. And the Pagani Designn comes in your basic Pagani Designn snapper box with the world's greatest cleaning cloth. And so let's go over the dimensions. The Pagani Designn is a little bit bigger. This one's 38.3 at the bezel. This one is 39.2. This one's 47.2 millimeters lug to lug with protruding end links. And this one's 48. And this one's 12.5 millimeters thick, including this crystal that sticks out a little bit past the bezel. And this one's 11.7. They both have 20 millimeter lug widths that taper down to 16. And this one weighs 142 grams on the supplied bracelet with no links removed. And this one weighs 135 grams on the supplied bracelet with 2 links removed. And then if you look at the bezels, the Sugess has this metal border, which is fairly new on a Rolex Daytona. And this one was made before Rolex even did that, because I've had this for a couple years. But if you look at the current lineup of Pagani Designn PD1644s, they still don't have that. So if you order one, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a plain bezel. Then if you look at the tachymeter, the Sugess says units per hour, which is what a real Rolex says, and this one says tachymeter. And of course, since this is the Le Mans colorway, it has the 100 in red. Then when you look at the dials, actually, if you look at the rehaut here, the Sugess has Sugess over and over again, and the Pagani Designn doesn't have anything. And then the Pagani Designn has a meteorite dial, and this is the one I have, so I can't really compare it to a similar colorway. And I haven't seen Pagani Designn do the Le Mans yet. Then one big thing different about the dials is, as you can see, first of all, the Sugess has bigger subdials. As second of all, the Sugess, the subdials sit a little higher than the Pagani Designn, where the Pagani Designn, the 3 and the 9 are even with the indices, where the Sugess, they stick up a little bit higher. And if you look at a real Rolex Daytona, the Sugess matches the layout more than the Pagani Designn. Then another big difference is the Pagani Designn has a date at the 430, and the Sugess does not have a date, and it doesn't have a ghost date either. Then also, the Sugess, both the left and the right subdial are part of the chronograph. The Pagani Designn, only the left subdial is part of the chronograph, and the right subdial is a 24-hour indicator. So the Pagani Designn only has a 60-minute counter on the left, so it will only do 60 minutes. And the Sugess actually has a 12-hour counter, so it'll go up to 12 hours for the chronograph. So the chronograph's a little bit more useful. Plus, this is a mecha quartz, so it ticks 5 times a second, and this is an automatic that ticks 8 times a second. So the sweep is a little bit smoother on the Sugess. So let's go ahead and press the first pusher. And as you can see, the Sugess, the sweep is smoother. Then also the running second hand, this one ticks once a second, and this one ticks 8 times a second. And they both have instant snapback. And they both have screw-down pushers. And of course, they're not really screw-down, they lock. And this is so you don't press them when they're underwater, because that would let in water and ruin both watches. They both have signed screw-down crowns, but the crown thread action is totally different. The Pagani Designn is nice. It pops nice. And then when you go to screw it back down, it catches right away and you have no issue. The Sugess, though, when you unscrew it, it doesn't pop. So you just have to keep unscrewing and just hope you're done. Then when you go to screw it back down, sometimes you miss. This time I caught it right away, but other times I've had difficulty screwing it down. Then when it comes to the case backs, the Sugess has a display case back with the coin edge. That means you need a special tool to open it, or either that or you can try the inflatable ball. I've never had much luck with the inflatable ball, but I haven't tried on this one. And this one has more traditional notches, so you can use a wrench. And so it's easier to open this one. Then, of course, this one has an automatic movement. This has the Peacock SL4801. And this is a pretty big deal because an automatic chronograph is still a rarity and still usually fairly expensive. So to be able to get one for under $500 is a big deal. And this one has a Seiko VK63 mecha quartz, which is, of course, battery powered, but very reliable. Then also, I forgot to mention water resistance. The Pagani has 100 and the Sugess has 50. And of course, 50 is enough to go swimming with. So it probably doesn't matter that the Pagani has more. Of course, if you ruin the Pagani going in the pool, you're out $50. You ruin this one, you're out 400. So that's a difference too. Then when it comes to the bracelets, they're both 3-link oyster style with polished center links. And if you look at the finish, though, closely, the Sugess just looks like the finish is just a hair nicer. They both have solid protruding end links. And the clasp is kind of different. As you can see, the Pagani Designn clasp is a lot longer. And that's why the Pagani Designn has 4 slots of micro adjust. And the Sugess only has 3. And another thing different too is the Pagani Designn, the little end here actually articulates, where the Sugess it's fixed. Does not articulate. Neither one has on-the-fly adjustment. So you have to get a tool and adjust them. You have to pop the easy link part. But if you look at the Sugess, you can put a tool on either end of it. Where if you look at the Pagani Designn, yeah, right here, there's only one side to put a tool. So it's a little bit more difficult to adjust. And then, as you can see, the Sugess has the little signature there, where the Pagani Designn signs it this way. And they both have screw pin adjusters, not push pins. But if you look at the other end, you can see that there's a little hole on the other end, so you can actually push them out with a tool after you unscrew them, where the Pagani Designn does not. So you have to kind of tap it. Here's the Pagani Designn on my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice. It wears nice. It's a really good looking watch. And I removed 2 links to fit on my wrist and then moved it in 1 slot of micro adjust. And here's the Sugess on my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. That wears nice. And I removed no links and then pushed it in 1 slot of micro adjust. Here we are in the loom room. Neither one of these watches has great loom, but since this is a comparison video, we might as well compare it. As we speed up the time, we see green C3 on the Pagani and blue BGW9 on the Sugess. Although I would say that the Sugess has better indices, the hands are equally bad and are already about gone. Loom is not a priority on either one of them. Alright, so what does the Pagani Designn have an advantage over the Sugess? First of all, it's much more affordable. Just a hair thinner. It has better crown thread action. Has a date on it. The case back can be removed with the wrench. It's more accurate since it's quartz. And it does have a longer bracelet. I removed 2 links, and this one I removed none. What are the advantages of the Sugess or the Pagani? Well, automatic chronograph movements are still a big deal in the watch world. And you can run this chronograph without worrying about draining the battery. So you could technically run it all the time if you wanted to have a big running second hand. And it has a 12-hour chronograph subdial. This one only goes up to 60 minutes. And the chronograph hand ticks 8 times a second instead of 5. This one looks more like a real Daytona because the subdials sit a little bit higher and they're a little bit bigger. And the Sugess has better packaging. Well, there you have it. 2 watches, 2 very nice watches, and they look a lot like a Rolex Daytona. And either one of these watches you'll be very happy with. Well, thank you for watching my comparison video, and I'll be back with an unboxing someday because I'm out of watches to review. So I'm just waiting for my watches to come from AliExpress. And there's been a holdup, and we all know why, but that's okay. And I'd like to thank my Members' Choice members. Here they are. There's only 4 of them. But who knows? Maybe one of these days the list will grow. And hopefully my Members' Choice watch will be arriving fairly soon. and I'll do a Members Choice unboxing. Bye.